morning. How are you? It has been crazy. By the way, this is Trina with Blowing Away the Fog. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please hit like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family if you resonate with this. Now, remember, not everybody's going to resonate with this. You might get some information and some answers, and some that you might not get any at all. But if you enjoy watching it, please hit like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. So by the time I hit a good bit of subscribers and followers, I plan on start going live. Now, I wanted to start this off with a little bit about me, okay? I started this YouTube channel because I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I knew that I was getting downloads and I was getting information. I resonated with a lot of different people, but I still did not understand what it was that I am meant to do. So I took a break from life. For an example, I haven't been on here. I haven't done YouTube channels, mainly because my life has gone down the gutter and I've been building it right back up out of it. Now, I didn't put myself in the gutter, but the choices that I made after the situation arose put me in the gutter, okay? Now, let's start off with, how do you get on a spiritual journey? You know, you've got many people out here that do bunches of different kinds of work for life, okay? You got the churchgoers. I am sorry, but I am going to smoke a cigarette while I'm talking. We've got churchgoers. They go out and they spend time with family and friends. They go to see the ones that are sick from their churches and they bless them. They talk to them. They spend time with them, giving their energy in a positive, loving manner, right? Okay. Now, this is how my life's been my whole life. Like, that's how I've always been. I've gone out of my way to help people out. Don't mind me. My shirt says Jesus is my quarterback. Yep. So, but I hadn't really been back to church in a long time. It's not saying that Jesus wasn't my Savior. Jesus is. Not saying that he didn't do everything he did for me, but how was I supposed to go to a church that I didn't feel comfortable in? Now, as a child, I was taken to churches. You know, my parents were of their religion. My mom was of hers. My father was of his. My grandparents were of theirs. So when it came down to it, it wasn't picking and choosing the right church for me, but it was picking and choosing the words Jesus was giving me. You know, listening to my spirit, to the guys that are with me, to the collective around me, to doing what I need to do, not following the crowd like a sheep. I'm sorry. I've got coffee here and I've got tea here, but I still have a cold. My daughter had one. She gave it to me, and luckily enough, keep your fingers crossed, we don't get the stomach bug my son had. So it's been a busy week. But like I was saying, I couldn't find a church that I wanted to go to. I couldn't find a place where I felt safe, secure, a home. Because in God's church, you're supposed to feel at home, correct? You're supposed to go there. You're supposed to praise Him. You're supposed to love Him. You're supposed to pray to Him. You're supposed to get your answers from Him. But when I was going to these other churches, I didn't feel that. It was social anxiety. Am I living up to what they want? Am I doing what they want? Am I doing it the way they want it, not the way God and Jesus wanted it? Now, you've got the Bibles, and in the Bibles they have commandments, I guess, rules, laws, regulations, you know, for each religion. But if you look at a bunch of different religions, a lot of them are all similar, right? Well, when it comes down to it, it took me 4 years to figure this out. Well, let's just backtrack. In 2015, got married. It was the love of my life, I thought. He was the father of my son. He adopted my daughter. You know, I thought it was heaven sent. I thought it was divinely sent to me because I had so much trouble when I was a teenager and a young adult taking care of my family. You know, I wanted somebody who's going to protect me. I wanted somebody who's going to love me. I needed somebody who's going to stand with me. But the choices I made back then weren't the best choices for me now. You know, you tend to have epiphany. Hindsight's better than foresight, right? You always know, well, I should have done that instead. But you didn't. So what are you going to do about it? Complain? Cry? Don't mind me. I'm walking away for just a second. Put the light on. And hopefully we can get some fan moving in here. Okay. So like I was saying. Sorry, I had to turn the light on. But like I was saying, we all have a spiritual journey we're on ourselves. And we all have to learn from it, right? Now, I'm going to say this is really important. We're in the year of 2020, right? The big year. Everybody's talking about it. Yeah, 2000. They were all talking about it. 2001, they're talking about it. The world's going to end. Well, look at your world now. What they didn't explain to you is the changes in our atmosphere, the changes on Earth, the changes with the people, the changes with the animals. That is where the world ends. You know, we knew what we knew in the past, but what we don't know is what's coming for us now. You know, I'm not going to talk about political things on this. I really am going to try not to. But look at your news. Look at your government. Look at your society. Everything is just falling apart. But what we don't realize is there are guides, spirits, and entities that are watching this. You've got the good and you've got the bad. Well, as I was coming through my spiritual journey for the last 2 years, I had to distinguish energies, which is positive energy, negative energy. Not as easy as you want to say it is. Okay, so I've lived my life filled with both negative and positive energies. Not just in positive, not just in negative. It was a good mixture of both. You know, I can't say the people in my life are perfect because they're not. But I have to say thank you. Because if it wasn't for their choices, mistakes, and or accomplishments, I would not have learned right from wrong when I was a teenager. So when I became awakened more to what's really going on in my world, that's when spirits decided they were going to hit me hard. And when I say hard, holy moly, talk about an explosion. That Wrecking Ball song keeps coming in my head from Taylor Swift. That's how it went. Okay, so like I said, backtrack a little bit. I was married to my husband. You can hear this now. It's going to change, right? As I was married to my husband, we started having issues in our relationship. It wasn't just me, and it wasn't just him. It was mutual. He was doing his own thing, and I was trying to figure out what was my own thing. I have 2 kids. I've got 2 dogs, 2 cats. I had a house. So I had my life full. You know, I had things busy. But those 15 minutes a day, 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day, I was still trying to figure out who I was while my kids and my family weren't there. So I turned to the cards. They helped me. They opened my mind up to help me understand what it is that I'm hearing, what it is that I'm channeling, and how to understand. Because sometimes images help me better. They usually help me better than the words that I hear. Because sometimes those words get mixed up before they come in. So it's like, when I was with my husband, I felt drained, tired, exhausted. But I didn't understand that it wasn't just me I was feeling. You know, like I said, when I started my ascension period, they wanted me to learn about energy. So they started giving me accessibilities to these energies. You know, I try to live my life in a high life. You know, always happy, always loving, always ready to go. Don't mind the beeps if you hear notification sounds and or noises. That is probably a heads up for you to either pay attention or you're paying attention too much. Maybe there was something there that you needed to hear and it was just clarifying. So in the future, just listen. The music that's on right now is a Buddha meditation music for positive energy for your inner self, and new meditation music. You can actually find it on YouTube. It's one of the subscribers that I have, that I went on and I listened to his music so I could do my meditation before I start doing this. But like I said, they started me on energy. I was exhausted. I mean, yeah, I had my ups and I had my downs. I found out when I was out in nature, when I was out doing things that were pleasing to my soul, I would be abundant with energy, be able to stay up and keep going. And then it changed. All right. I was constantly going out in order to get this good energy. Things started going different at home, and I started finding myself home a lot by myself. Now, I tried to explain this to my partner when I was with him, the energy that he was bringing home, that it was affecting me. You know, a lot of people that aren't awakened aren't aware of that. You know, you can go out, spend time with your friends and your family, but you're bringing back that attachment they had when they were with you. So say you're just girls, just like us women. We all go out, we hang out, we have a couple drinks with our girls, and you're bitching, you're venting, you're getting all your negative out, you know? But did you put any positive when you're doing that too? Or was it just straight negative? Because then you go start attracting those negative energies to you consistently. Well, at that point in my life, I was very much attracting all the negativity to me. It was really, really hard. I was sick a lot. I was depressed, didn't want to do stuff. I lacked energy, which was very hard and difficult when it came to the marriage when I was in it, you know. Well, my grandfather was sick. He had cancer. And I was super worried about him. He was in Thailand, and I just kept putting this energy out. God, if I can help somebody, help me understand what's going on. Where am I supposed to be in my life? And this man, my Opa, German for grandpa, this man, he hadn't talked to his family since my dad passed away in '09. He just upped and left. And now that could be somebody running away from their problems and their issues. That's their own choice. So I gave him every love and support for these choices. And I knew that if I was meant to see him again, that there was going to be that opportunity. Well, the man called me. He called me out of the blue. As a family, we were searching for him. My uncle, my aunt flew all the way out there. We heard the story about him having skin cancer and then lymphoma cancer. And it was in his lymph nodes underneath his arm and all the way down his side. So it was pretty gnarly for him. And up there, the medicine that they were giving him, they weren't even doing anything for him. They weren't giving him the help that he needed. So my uncle and my aunt flew back home, and we were all trying to figure out how within the next month or so we were going to get up there to go get him. Well, old man called us. I happened to be out. It was a very stressful week for me. I was fighting with my husband, and mainly it was fights because he was going out spending time with his friends and drinking a lot, and just it was obsession and addictions that he wasn't working on, and it was making it very difficult, and it was very apparent that it was difficult when it was at home. Well, when Opa called, I tried to sit down with my husband and explain to him, listen, where we are financially, we can't just take another trip, because we had already took a trip, you know what I mean? So I'm going to need you to stay home with the kids so I can go see him. I mean, he personally called me saying he was on his way. He had me call the family to let him know, you need to pick him up at the airport. He's on his way now. He'll be there in 12 hours or whatever the distance it is. So my husband didn't want to hear that. He didn't. Now, whether it was insecurities on his part or there was complications that I wasn't aware of, I wouldn't know because he never opened up to talk to me. And yes, I did try. Now, Opa came home within 24 hours. Rocky and all of them picked him up. They got him at home. They started him on chemo. They started him on radiation. And with his age, it took a turn for the worse. I was called within a month later saying I needed to come home, that Opa wanted his grandkids. Now, he was very clear he didn't want the babies to come because, number one, he didn't meet all the babies. And number two, it's really hard for children to see people in that position. So I made that choice not to bring the babies up. Don't mind me, I'm taking a sip. Well, my husband paid for the ticket and sent me up there. And the day that I was supposed to head out, I didn't see him all day. And the night that I was supposed to go to sleep, getting ready to get up early in the morning to go to my airplane, he wasn't home. I woke up the next morning, had my bags packed. I was ready to leave. He still was not home. And about 20 minutes before I had to leave, he shows up. He had been out drinking and partying and generally just trying to beg somebody to go with him. Now, as shameful as it is to admit, I had my doubts. I wanted it to be perfect, the marriage. I really did. But Spirit was riding my ass hard. You know, you have red flags, Trina, is what they're saying. Look at your red flags. And I was like, nah, I'm going to change that to blue. And I'm just going to walk away from it. You know what I mean? There's no need for me to look at that because he wouldn't do that. So, keep battling forward a little bit more. I got out to California and I cleared my head. I really did. I got back on the home ground. I got to see Opa. I did the energy work I needed to do with him. I witnessed my family doing the energy work when it was healing. And I was healed. They cleared my mind. They helped me. I'm not saying my mind was fractured, but they helped me make it whole again because it was split. There was two different things going on in my life, and I wasn't even aware. So I talked to them. And yeah, the conversations came up to relationships and what was going on. And in the end, I realized it didn't matter what was going on. I just wanted the truth. Now, I'm a truth seeker. That's why I go to many different churches, many different religions, and read these books because there's a truth in everything. You just need to be aware and be willing to have the answers. So when I came home from California, I was aware and I was willing to have those answers. I was not aware that my husband was cheating on me. It was blindsided in so many ways. At first, I thought it was just communications, that he was talking to other people, and that was something I could probably push past, trying to work my mind around this. So, more complications actually came up. There was more issues that around the house that happened, and I just ended up leaving. My sister showed up to help me, and she made a valid point that why was I there if that's where he wanted me contained? Because right now I needed to get out of that situation, know where I needed to go from there. So I went to my sister's house for a week, and I wanted my kids with me, and I was told I was abandoning them. So instead of fighting with him, because that's what it seemed like he wanted, I allowed him to have the kids for that week. I still seen them every single day. I made sure I seen them every single day. Well, as time went on, he didn't stop at all. He continued going out, partying, drinking, spending money, doing stupid shit. And I finally, in November, made it back to the house. A friend of mine helped me get back in. Now, my ex didn't want me in the house because I've left, supposedly, and I abandoned him in the house in all the situations. Yet I was clearing my head. So, my friend got me back in the house. He was able to get my head cleared on the right track. What was most important? My children. So, on that, I waited 2 weeks. Almost, give or take, because I went back right before Halloween. And then I left on 11/11. Well, I was kicked out, but, regardless, it was a mutual leave. At that moment in my life, everything broke. But I didn't turn away from my faith. I actually turned to it. One of the hardest things that I could ever expect, because the person that was supposed to watch over me, the guy up there, he put me in this position. But I still believed in them. Because look at where I was. I had what I wanted. I had abundance of unconditional love. Thank God for my children and my animals, because they taught me that. They taught me it doesn't matter how hard it is, you can have unconditional love for somebody. So I'm now on this new path where I am alone. I'm sorry for coughing a lot through this video. I am alone. I am learning to move forward. I was going 5 years without a job because I was a stay-at-home mom. I am now praying, fingers crossed, that we get a phone call because I've been putting applications in, and I went for an interview. So, do me a favor, send some good vibes, okay? Because we need some finances coming through here. But I realized that even though I was alone and I didn't have money and I didn't have anything and I wasn't given anything from my, soon-to-be ex, I had to do it all on my own. God still provided for me. Spirit, divine, what you want to call them, they provided. They knew that the prayers that I was putting out there were the truth. They knew it was an absolute necessity to keep my faith and my dreams coming true, that I needed something to come to me. Now, I'm not going to be prideful and say toot my horn, but I'm going to tell you, my life has been taking care of people every step of the way. And I'm not perfect. I've had my ups and I had my downs with these people, but I've helped them. I've done my best, whether it was mental, spiritual, or physical. I was raised like that. So I knew that what I put out there needed to come back to me. So I needed a secure place. Well, I found it. I found a place. I found somewhere where I was loved. I found a place where I was safe and secure, and that I have my animals and my kids were here. I have them every single day. I pick them up after school. I bring them to me. Dad gets them at night. And then I have them on weekends. So I'm starting to get a new routine and a new pattern. Well, with this ascension, I'm now being pushed to do channeling messages. The messages that I need to channel are for those that are listening, those that are going through the same thing, situation, even if it's tweaked a little bit. Your partner doesn't have to be male. It could be a husband or it could be a wife. Say the person's watching this, you're male and your wife is the one that stepped out of your relationship. You could still move forward. You could still work on it. But you guys need to remember that, getting sucked into your feelings and doing the drugs and the alcohol, that's just numbing you. It's okay to have those feelings and to work with them and push them forward. Do what you got to do. But if you get sucked up in those emotions and those feelings and those drugs and those alcohol, you're going to lose track of time. Not only that, but what you put out there is going to come back to you, so you make sure it's positive energy. Like I said, they've been working me on energy, the right from the wrong. So when my husband cheated on me and I found out, I did a small Facebook post. It wasn't even about it. It was just strike one or strike three, I'm done. You know what I mean? We've already talked about these things. We've already had these discussions. So this was the end deal for me. Now, I'm still trying to keep a co-parenting relationship with my husband. I am trying to keep the friendship with my husband. I am trying to understand my husband. I'm going to divorce my husband. I know this because that isn't the path that I was deserved to be on. No person deserves not to be chosen. You know what I mean? That's what my thing was. It's like, you didn't choose me. You walked away from me. You left me completely. So now I have to deal with all these trust issues and all these mental insecurities that I'm going to be going through because of what you did. The person already knew my past, so why would he do it? But he did it. So forgive, don't forget, move on. I don't have to sit here and remember in details what he did and how he did it. But what I could do is watch and see if things have changed and if there is an improvement moving forward, which there hasn't. 4 months. There has not been a change. No communication, nothing on his end. I mean, it has just been an eye-opening to, whoa. I didn't even realize that was the person I married. Now that I'm putting it into that perspective, I went a very long time dealing with this. So it's like, I don't understand. How is it that a human being can go through so much pain and heartache and still come out of it as whole as I feel currently? Sorry for a second, I had to light my cigarette up. So, when the time comes, every person is going to go through, I'd say, the upheaval in their life. Whether it's losing a family member, losing your spouse or your partner, divorcing, children getting sick, something happening to you to recover. There is plenty of different things that could go on in your life that literally change you forever. So, the moral of this little channeling, venting spout is, if you're looking for your life path, you have to take the ups and the downs. I'll say that again. If you're looking for your life path, you have to be there and present for your ups and downs. You have to take credit for what you have done, not what other people have done. And you need to focus that positive energy that you want, that dreaming that you have deep on the inside, even though you're so upset from all this. You need to focus that bit out into the world and put it out into the world, not the negative. Because, like I said, energy comes back. What you put out, you get back. So if you're putting out all this negative stuff, you go out, you party, you drink, you have open sex relationships with everybody, you're going to get something back. You know, sexually transmitted diseases are like an entity that's attached to you because you chose to do this with that person. That person that had it had that negative entity and or STD. They transferred it to you having sex. Just like when people go to church, they learn that sex is a very important factor. You know, it's healing. And it makes life. It helps you grow. So if you're using this in a negative manner, are you going to heal? Are you going to grow? Are you going to move forward in a healthy dynamic? Or are you going to be stuck in place finding yourself riddled with problems? You know, you have a mental situation where you want to drink because you don't want to deal with what's going on in your life. Or you want to smoke consistently so you are not dealing with those energies and feelings going on in your life. You want to go out and have casual sex because you think that is where you're going to get your satisfaction from the situation. But it's not. You know, when one makes a choice in life, whether it's the right choice or the wrong choice, everybody has to take responsibility for the outcome. You know, kind of like you throw a pebble into the water, you've got ripples. So me throwing the pebble into my pond with divorce made ripples. And those ripples affected a lot of people. You have the family that was involved. You have my family that was involved. And you've got his family that's involved. Everybody. It's like a huge clean slate. And before you start working on that clean slate, every single thing that you did is right in front of you. You have to face it. You have to fix it. So let's say 2 years ago, I started on the biggest part of my spiritual journey, which is opening up, being confident to be able to give my words, give my advice, give my life, my soul, my energy to people. I needed to know how to take care of that because I'm giving you all my positive love and support. But what you're giving me is that energy that's swirling inside of you because I opened myself to accept it. But I did not open myself to keep it. I'm allowing myself to filter it, you know, bring in all that energy, filter out all the negative, and push back to you your positive. Okay? I'm not here to criticize you, demand you, or say you should not have done this. What I'm saying is, did you learn? Did you learn from your damn lessons this time? Is that why you're here on this channel looking? Is that why you're concerned? Is that what you're here for? Because if it's not between you and God, He knows exactly why you're on this channel looking. He knows what you're asking for. And He knows what you need, whether or not you say it out loud or admit it to even yourself. A couple of these videos that I've done in the past have all stated something along the line of your family and your support. Like literally swiping your entire energy field completely clean, bringing in exactly what you have in your life and working from there. I posed a question to somebody one time, and the question was, look around you. Can you fend for every single person that's in your vicinity right now that you take care of? Can you do it? Say the world ends. Money is not a factor no more. Can you do it? But what if that's what the world's doing right now to us? What if everybody's doing this, where everybody has to reevaluate what their life meaning is? What if everybody has to understand what they are doing in their life to make it better? What if that is what Spirit wants? Because in this world, we have a lot of problems, a lot of wars, a lot of drugs, a lot of trafficking. I mean, you name it, it's happening, and everybody feels it in a big way. So we've got our country out in wars. What's happening here in our country? War within the homeland. How do you work on that? Is it out of our hands, or is it now just starting to be in our hands? Look at where we are politically in life. What's currently going on? This is 2020. This is the 2nd of February. So right now we've got presidential issues. We've got governmental issues. We've got county issues. We've got state issues. Everything that was hidden is now in the open, in the palm of your hands. You can crush the life out of it and be gone, or you can cherish that and just grow it. So what is it that was buried that came out? For me, Spirit. Spirit was buried the most. I ignored it. He gave me so many answers. He gave me so many options. But I ignored him. Why? Because I was in my ego. Ego, emotions, feelings, what's going on in your life? This is happening. Well, this is how I feel from it, so I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. I don't want to listen to what Spirit's telling me because it's not what I want to hear. So, what do they do to get me to listen? Help me drop it. Help me destroy everything that I worked for to this point in my life, so I can see what was truly the right way to go. I'm not saying I should never have married my husband, but I should have waited. I should have had the kid out of wedlock. I already did have one, but yes, family, religion pushed me to make that conscious decision to say yes. Not saying it was bad, because I learned how to love somebody who didn't love me for me. I learned how to give people utter truth and honesty and commitment, even when they were faulting me. So that is where I learned to change everything I gave into life and everything I gave into everybody. I'm now giving it to Spirit. Why? Because it's shown me day after day and time after time that they can help me, that they support me, they care for me, and they love me. And they know that my honest to God truth, I'm on the right path that I want to be in my life. When I get older, I want to do this. When I get older, I want to do that. But was I in that position to be able to do so living where I was? No. I've been watching it go downhill for 2 years, praying and begging every single day that God would give me that one gift, one person that just got to walk with me through my life. I didn't say control me. I didn't say protect me or financially support me. I wanted to be protected. I wanted somebody who loved me for the weirdness that I am. I wanted somebody who cared for me for as goofy as I can get. I needed a match in this world, because right now, this world wasn't a match for me. I am like an old soul, completely out of the situation. I didn't even know how to move forward. I was the most lost I've ever felt my whole life. And mind you, I've lost both my parents, so that's really, really lost. Didn't know what to do. And I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed, and then they found that spot for me. They found that place for me. They gave me the opportunity to open myself again, my heart, my soul, and my light, to let it shine, even though it was dim and it was dirty and it was crusted over with all this sadness. They gave me the opportunity. They broke open that box and they just let it out, and I learned as days went on, it's okay to cry. I've learned as days go on that you can't just be happy all the time. I know that everyone in this world has had massive changes just in the last few years. And I know there's quite a few people out there that is going through a situation quite similar to what I'm going through right now. Not saying you're spiritual to the point where you want to read tarot cards and channel, but you're in a situation where you're down to your last, what do you want to call it? The last point in your life before you are the lowest you will ever be. You're at the point now where you're standing on the bottom rung of that ladder, and you don't know if you have the strength to climb up it all over again, because you know you missed that top rung. You know you went all the way back down. It hurt. You're bloodied. You're bruised. You're broken. But you stood back up and you got back on that rung, but you're scared. You're sitting there going, oh my goodness, can I do this? Is it possible? Can I do this again? Spirit has told me that you can. He's told me I could too, many occasions. I laugh at him because, lack of belief in myself is where I've been held back. I keep getting told to get on these videos and do a channeling, but self-conscious issues made me stop. And I realized that I can't put that self-conscious energy out into this world. It's not right for you, and it's not right for me. Because I'm not here to give you self-conscious issues. I'm here to teach you how to get past your self-conscious issues. To understand that form of confidence that you show on a daily basis to hide your true emotion and feeling, that is something you need to control. You need to hold on to as tight as you can and focus it in the right direction. When the time comes and you find yourself wishing that you did something different, this is the time now that you make them changes. So, I'm going to leave this channel message about the brief information I've given about my life, and hopefully it helps you. And if it does, hit like, subscribe, share with your friends and family, and please catch me on the next video, because I'm going to do a short tarot reading, and it's just going to be whatever it is Spirit once said. Nothing serious or, no specific tarot spread sitting out. It's just going to be me, the cards, and talking. So please, come join me. I know this has been about a half hour of just jabbing, but that's okay, because this is what I'm meant to do. I'm supposed to talk to you. And, I am utterly blessed and excited to be able to do this. It makes me excited to know these videos that I'm putting out here is going to touch somebody, that they're going to feel it to the bottom of their toes, and they're going to be like, man, this is where I needed to be right now. This is what I needed to hear, that I am loved, that I am cared for, that Spirit is going to guide me, that I can't just sit here and focus on all the negative in my life for it to never come back to me positive. So start focusing on your positive, people. Start seeing what's good in your life. Start looking at what you actually have and work on that. Don't work about what it is. Don't worry about what it is that's coming towards you anymore. Start focusing about what's in your life. So when that thing comes towards you, you can either defend or you can open your heart and accept whatever it is the divine is ready to give you lesson-wise. Because the lesson they could give you next is utter love and an abandonment of your stress, your anger, your worry, your confusion. That's what they're giving you. That's what they're going to give you if you're just willing and available to do it. So, I would love every single one of you to take the time to send out some good energy and vibes to your friends, your family, to me, and to yourself. And I would love all of you guys to come join me and continue following me. Thank you guys so much. Namaste.